Hello. This is Andrew, the Archon philosopher, talking philosophy to the philosopher in all of us. Well, today is sort of an esoteric philosophy subject. I was in a thread discussion with someone and talking about angels. They seem to imply that I have a position on them, which I don't really. But some of the discussion came from a video where somebody was talking about angels in an academic statement setting, and they seem to indicate angels were some psychological solution, but this is not the case. In looking at angels, in the medieval times especially, there are two types of angels, and this was not made clear. There are visible angels and invisible angels. And the non-visible angels are just forces. The forces of nature, the force of gravity, the force of pressure, the force of circumstance, though, the force of good luck, the force of good and evil, all of these forces, whatever they are, and there's millions and millions of them. That's what they speak of, millions and millions of these angels. And they spoke about it as carriers of the will of God into our human sphere. So this is in some way to describe how actions take place at all. So these are the invisible ones. However, we have visible angels, and the visible angels are those that take on physical form, and they appear to humans. And we have a list here. I assembled this list from everywhere I could find, and what is there, about 28 visible angels. So these are spoken about as interacting with humans. And we see the normal ones: Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, Uriel, and other ones: Metatron, Sandalphon. Oh, there's a whole bunch. Not all of these I could confirm. I could dig a little harder, I suppose, with some of them and get the setting where they interacted with humans. But Gabriel was instrumental in discussing with the mother of Jesus and escorting Muhammad to the seventh heaven. And Uriel, we'll do Uriel right now. Uriel has a number of features. And where's Uriel here? There we go. There's Uriel. So Uriel has a number of features, and it was instrumental with Enoch and Ezra. And I note here that the symbol is the triangle, and this is the black triangle. I'm taking that to be. And in the Kabbalistic correspondences, they point to the abyss, the da'ath, as the ungroundedness, which is Uriel. So this is the point at which the laws of physical nature shatter. So this is Uriel, and I'm thinking that Uriel has a specific and important role when Uriel interacts with people, and there's descriptions of this. But the descriptions are those descriptions that people have today. And so this is sort of a meta-analysis, I guess people call it, but I prefer to take it as the basis that we have such commonalities between the experiences of the interactions between humans and these non-human sentient creatures across time. And this is what I think is why we can ask the questions, are angels aliens or are aliens angels? And answer the question, yes. Here we have a non-human sentient creature interacting with humans, whatever it is. And then we try to find more commonalities about what they described in the past and what is being described today. And this is going to be, I think, the path to try to untangle the information asymmetry that is being foisted upon humanity. As I discussed in the live stream, the war of the aliens, and it's a war between humans about the information access to the best information we can get on the interaction of humans and non-human sentient creatures. So we can stretch back from Enoch, and Enoch would have existed in ancient Mesopotamia. And so ancient Mesopotamia was that point at which the gods. So now we equate angels and aliens with gods. They're just names. They're just names. And so we have the primordial listing of Mesopotamian entities and gods, starting with Namu out of the abyss. So Namu's out of the abyss, the chaos abyss. And then we have different characters at different times. It's sort of confusing, to tell you the truth, because there's different groups here: the Sumerians, the Akkadians, the Assyrians, the Babylonians. But we have a number of different generations, and all of these entities were said at some point to interact with humans. And this would have been in the time of Enoch. So the names have changed, but the situations haven't. And that's what's key. The names have changed and the naming has changed, but the situation has remained consistent. Humans seemingly interact in a number of different ways with non-human sentient creatures who have different abilities than we do. Maybe more powerful, maybe less powerful, but they can do things that appear to us like magic. They can fly at 60,000 miles an hour from the air to the water, back out to the air. This is stuff. Transmedium craft is not something humans can currently do. So they have had this power, I guess, for 6,000 years. So we only have to imagine where they are now compared to where they were 6,000 years ago. Because in the last 200 years, we've moved from not having a photo to having this across the interwebs. So we have this discussion of angels. We also have the greatest of writers, and his name is Dionysius the Areopagite, and he wrote a number of great books, unbelievable books. The Celestial Hierarchy details the angels. Let me just read a passage here from section 1. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above and cometh down from the Father of lights. My, oh my, what great stuff. Now, he apparently was the second bishop of Athens. Areopagite is a port off of Athens. Now, a lot of people don't like what he's saying and try to remove him as a pseudo-Dionysus because he used words like oneness, thinking that he was a Neoplatonist. But that term existed previous, so they're just trying to separate out because Dionysus appears to be, I'm not sure, a number of things: pantheist, panentheist, gnostic, all sorts of stuff. And this is just such a great book, and it just continues on. It's just a beautiful, beautiful read. And he listed the hierarchies of angels, and he thought of them as somehow guardians or messengers of the force of God into the world, and the super essential Father of lights. You know, he doesn't necessarily use the terms we think of today for Abrahamics. And it's somewhat of question how important he put Jesus into the list. He mentions him, but not that often. So that was Dionysus. So he carried through this angelic tradition into the medieval times, and other people took his hierarchy. It's the main one, the 9 hierarchies. But what we're concerned about is the separation between invisible angels, of which there are millions upon millions, every force you can imagine, and the visible angels, which come and visit, and apparently are visiting today. So the quick answer is yes, the angels are aliens and the aliens are angels, and this is just a naming convention. It goes all the way back to the ancient Mesopotamians, ancient Egyptians. It appears as though the ancient Egyptians had the most disciplined of the gods or angels or aliens, and didn't really do stuff, but the Mesopotamians got involved with interbreeding. Gilgamesh was one of those products, and he was pivotal in the deluge. And but there had been a hierogamous, sacred marriage between kings and gods, or aliens, or angels. And this was just previous to the deluge. So there was a story that was slightly different than the one you hear about the fallen angels, who came down, sentient creatures, and interbred with humans from the biblical Abrahamic tradition. And so we see this parallel, this similarity that's going on in these stories, and we wonder what's going on today. We are apparently genetic cousins, and for reasons I outlined, I think in direction 1, where consciousness can only adhere to certain structures, and that structure was determined in the unfinalizability of DNA converting into a phenotype. So that was the basis for all genetic engineering to create sentient creatures by the originary collapser of the universal wave function. So this is what we have. We have a world interpenetrated by non-human sentient creatures, and we've named them differently over the years. There's a whole list of them: incubus, succubus. Oh my. Anyway, that's it for today's discussion. Hope this was useful. Thank you for liking, subbing, subscribing, sharing. And if there's any comments, please do put them in. And we'll see you hopefully on the next one.